It's 2022 and you're still not Grandmaster. Now, this is not meant to be a roast. In fact, it can be incredibly frustrating when you've tried to climb so long, and no matter how far you go or no matter what you do, you feel like you cannot climb. So in this video, we're going to talk about the 5 biggest reasons why you have not been able to make it to Grandmaster or any rank that you want to. And if you don't fix these things, not only will you not be able to climb in Overwatch 1, but you're going to be just the same skill level in Overwatch 2 or even worse. So let's break it all down right now. Oh, I didn't see you there. Don't mind me, I'm just using my weed whacker from Manscaped. You see, Valentine's Day is like the Super Bowl of lovemaking, and Manscaped is getting us all ready for the big day. You see, about 4 weeks ago, Manscaped sent our entire team the Performance Package 4.0, and inside has everything you need to be your freshest self. With waterproof trimmers and nose hair shavers to shampoos, body washes, and sprays, you'll come out fresh and clean every single time, and I cannot suggest the product enough. Say goodbye to heel sluts and please your real life partner instead. The Manscaped Performance Package gives you everything you need to just have an amazing Valentine's Day and beyond. So do yourself and your significant other a huge favor and use code MILFS20 at the Manscaped checkout for 20% off your order and free shipping. Go check it out right now down below. Now, the first thing that can happen is repeated mistakes non-stop, or to put it better, a vicious cycle of never learning. Now, in a sense, this is not your fault at all because bad opponents actually generate bad players. And let me kind of break down exactly what I mean. Let's say you make a play in a game. You make this aggressive play, you make this tanking play, the shatter play, the sleep play, nade play, whatever the case may be, and it works. It works in one game and it causes you to win a team fight. So you're feeling pretty good about yourself and you write that in your mental book like, I should keep doing that. But the next opponent you go up against, it doesn't work. And you don't make a mental note of that. You just kind of chalk that up to, whatever, it didn't work this time. A little bit of RNG, a little bit of randomness, and you lose that game. And then the next game it works, and then the next game it doesn't, and then 2 games it doesn't work, and then 1 game it does. And essentially, you are not getting consistent feedback, right? It's not like a test where there's a wrong and a right answer. It's a very complex answer, and sometimes a certain play will work against one type of opponent and it will not work against another. And some plays or aggression will work against bad opponents, but not against good ones. So then you might be asking, okay, I keep making these mistakes nonstop and I can't learn how to make the right decisions because there's no consistency from game to game. So how do I stop making these mistakes? I think the most important thing you need to do is evaluate what is happening in your game, and it's okay to make a limited mistake once, but try not to make the same mistakes over and over again, and understand if a play doesn't work and loses you the team fight, or a play doesn't work and get you killed, that is a mistake that you need to think about and revisit and say, hey, I probably could have played this better, or I could have done this in a way that would work more consistently. Never allow yourself to win a game and say, I played it flawlessly, and don't just accept a loss on the chin and blame it on your teammates, or just say, oh, this play always works. I was just really unlucky, because more often than not, you're actually meeting a certain skill wall that you're not able to overcome because you're never correcting your mistakes to overcome it. Now, the next big thing that is preventing you from ranking up, and this is one that I see a lot when I VOD review players that have gone really hard in Overwatch for a very long time, and they have a very cemented mind about Overwatch. Think about when you first start playing a game or a sport or doing anything. You come at it with an open mind, right? You don't know anything, so you ask a lot of questions, and you're like, oh, what's the right way to do this? What's the wrong way to do this? How do I go about doing this? Or you just ask questions about the state of whatever you're doing. However, once a person plays something for a long time, they play Overwatch for 1,000 hours, 2,000 hours, whatever the case may be, or they do anything for a long time, they feel like experts, or they allow themselves to think that they have the perfect solution to any problem. Now, I think it's incredibly important to understand that you feeling that way could actually be what's holding you back. There's a big difference between a home cook that has cooked 10,000 hours and Gordon fucking Ramsay, right? A Gordon fucking Ramsay would probably be like the equivalent of, like, I don't know, Space or, you know, Super or some big pro, right? And you know, a random home cook would just be someone with like the ultra diamond super border around your name because you played 1,000,000 hours. Are the skill sets even close to the same? No. And in many cases, the person that has played longer actually might be worse rank. And it's important that if you allow yourself to basically never change your mind about something or never adapt with new information, then you're going to have these really strong opinions about the right composition or what counters what or how to play everything. And your preconceived notions isn't enough to climb you. So why do you hold on to them so strongly in the first place? Now, the next big mistake that is actually holding you back from getting Grandmaster is being either too narrow or too broad. Too narrow is a person that only plays like one character and they've only ever played one character. And while that can be really good in some ways, you get to master that character and learn that character a lot, you might not even know how other characters fully work. You don't understand what a character can do, how a character feels to play, what makes a character strong and weak. I've met players that have put thousands of hours into Overwatch, and there's certain characters on the roster that they've never even played casually. How can you go about playing this game and trying to grind it to a high level without fully understanding the possible variations of enemies you can come across and the possible teammates that you can work with? It is important to at least dip your toe in every single character. Even if you specialize in one, you still need to learn the entire game of Overwatch, not Roadhog Simulator, okay? And the next thing is being too broad. And these are players that are trying to learn everything, you know, good at everything, master of none, right? And this was something that I actually ran into a long time ago when there was open queue. And in open queue, this strategy was a lot better. You could actually be someone who was very flexible. Not only could you flex throughout the roles, but being flexible allowed you to be that perfect filler in a composition and then carry because you knew how to play whatever. Now, you weren't phenomenal at any one thing, but you were very good at a lot of different things. But now with role queue and with you slotting into a certain role and a certain character, typically you need to be someone that is able to go above and beyond an impact. You need to be better than the person on the other side that locked the same role as you. And it's very important that if you're too narrow, if you're dipping your whole foot in tank and support and DPS and you're trying all these different characters and learning them all and becoming decent at all of them, you might keep all your characters to like I don't know, a freaking plat skill level, when if you would just focus on one role, you might have a diamond skill level in that role. And if you focus to one sub role inside that, maybe you would have a master's or grandmaster skill set in those characters as well. Now, the fourth big thing that you have to do, and it's pretty obvious, it's just seek outside help. You got to get a VOD review. You either have to do a self VOD, but realistically, you should find a higher ranked player or you should find a coach and you should get a VOD review from them. And the reason that this is so important is for a lot of the reasons that I talked about before, you know, that cemented mind about Overwatch or that repeated nonstop mistakes. Those are things that sometimes looking at your own gameplay and analyzing yourself, you'll never see, but another set of eyes will see it right the freak away. Honestly, when I was struggling the most in Overwatch, there was a time frame where, you know, first I was hard stuck in Plat and I grinded out of there, and I was really hard stuck in Diamond, really hard stuck in Diamond, but then I grinded out of there without any help. But then when I got to Masters, that is where things just kind of felt almost hopeless for me. I felt like there was an insurmountable wall that I couldn't get out of Masters, but I reached out to a very high ranked player, a coach, and I said, hey, I need a VOD review. I need some help. And he helped me. He walked me along. He showed me the big mistakes that I was doing that I didn't even see. And I would have never saw, honestly. There's no way I would have ever been able to see them. And not only did I learn them, but they were so adopted into my play that from there, I just felt like I could improve indefinitely. It was like something was lifted from me and I would have never saw it. If I would have never got that VOD review, I probably wouldn't be talking to you right now. I probably would still be fucking Hardstuck Masters. I don't know, maybe not, but I really felt like it was a major breakthrough for me, and it was only enabled by someone else looking at my own gameplay and realizing things that I would never know or see. Now, the last thing that you probably haven't been doing enough of, and I know it's kind of tedious, but it has to be done, and it's honing your mechanical skill. At the end of the day, mechanical skill can hard carry you in Overwatch. It can hard carry you in most games, but specifically in Overwatch, doesn't matter what role you are, mechanical skill can make it so you can consistently win matchups that you have made multiple wrong decisions throughout the matchup. You're not taking an advantage fight. You're not positioned well. Maybe you're even in a 1v2, but it doesn't matter. Your mechanical skill can overwhelm that. Now, it's not the end-all be-all, but oftentimes with positioning and game sense, you learn that over time. But mechanical skill, while you can develop it over time, oftentimes you have to be very specific with the mechanical skill that you want to acquire, and you have to specifically grind said skill and focus on it. A great thing that you can actually do is look at what pros can pull off in your role and try to reach that. A Grandmaster player might not be able to go crazy clutch and be as consistent as a pro. Of course not even close. But in an isolated situation without pressure, you should be able to perform the mechanical actions all the same. And a great example of this was I was playing with a buddy Overwatch just casually a little bit ago, and he kept on getting hacked from behind his Rhine. And I was like, yeah, pro players would actually turn and block that. You need to actually turn and block that with your shield. And he's like, what? I have to react to the freaking hack with a 180 and a shield? And I was like, yeah, you have to do that. That is what's required, or you're going to keep getting hacked over and over and over again. And he thought that that was so crazy. And I was like, yeah, that is just what's required. So how could he go about developing that? Well, he could make sure that his, sensitivity is optimized to where it's possible. Maybe he doesn't have the right sense. Maybe he doesn't have the right mouse pad. But after that, all he has to do is just make sure he practices consistent 180s. And maybe he's never done that before, but it's something that you need to learn in order to replicate what is needed to counter that character. And it's incredibly important to isolate mechanical skill sets that you can learn and apply them to your gameplay so that you're slowly building towards your optimized form and the most impact you can possibly get. But if you have any questions about this, definitely let me know down below. Are you excited for Overwatch 2? Are you still grinding Overwatch 1? I want to hear about it. And use code MILFS20 at the Manscaped checkout for 20% off your order and free shipping. Do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below.